Our generation has a choice. Turn away from the world's problems or chase them down. We refuse to sit back and watch them pass us by. Watch us fly ahead. Rise to every challenge and overcome anything. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
What an insane matchup that was, Relic. Seeing it go kind of down to the wire in some of those games, but be more of a defensive masterclass for the most part. And then just some unfortunate mishaps for the side of Southern Miss Coca-Cola, where they were hoping for the best, but they got 4-0 swept. We'll have to watch the rest, unfortunately, in the backseat of the car this time instead of the driver's seat as they were hoping to the rest of that bracket.
Such a tease. Every game, pretty close, but never close enough for Southern Miss Coca-Cola. Only led once in any of those games, and it was oh so brief an experience, it seems. A shame, really, but that's part of the joy of tournament play from a spectator perspective. You got to turn up on the day. This isn't like a build-up of leagues and weeks after weeks after weeks. This is a hot drop bracket, and they drop cold. Not the same to be said, of course, for Oakland University. Very warm indeed. But things are only just starting to heat up because, of course, we're heading to the upper bracket and
yes,
volleyball, man. Maryville, OC Esports. Oh, boy. These two haven't faced each other, mostly because Maryville was only there in week one anyway. OC Esports never faced them at any point. But Maryville, in the one time that they did take part in the bracket, by the way, funnily enough, lost 4-0 to Southern Miss Coca-Cola.
Wow.
So, I mean, anything can happen.
Anything can happen. That's crazy to think about here. But again, we will have to see how this series is going to go because OC Esports, I feel like they have been leveling up individually as players. Chili and G-Man looking really strong during their RCS pushes. They have individually had this past split, and also in some of the other events that we saw, Bundle Bash that they participated in with different squads, they look pretty good. Maryville, this is a whole new Maryville compared to what we're used to seeing. I think they have Buddy on their team now.
They do, yes.
And he's moving over from Northwood, playing second fiddle on the B team there for a while, and Adam as well moving over from that B team too, with Knight sticking on the squad. So this is basically like a refurbished Northwood White with Maryville colors is what we are seeing against OC Esports. So I'd say both these teams have very good odds to take this series.
Got plenty of toppy tier experience behind them as well in Maryville. So, they've got a wide breadth of tournament experience behind them. OC Esports, though, what I really enjoyed about them yesterday was their ability to interchange. North actually had to step in for Chicken for the majority of their last series, of course, beating the aforementioned Oakland University 4-2. And it's
just crazy.
It's a better roster with North. I'm not gonna lie, North was really comfortable at the back. They looked a lot more stable. These are three very aggressive players otherwise. But Chicken, he's gonna want to, again, shut me up almost immediately. An own goal potential. Almost a target again fired. Chicken, look, this one could go either way. And I love the unpredictability.
It's funny that in Collegiate Rocket League we have a player named Cluck Cluck and a player named Chicken. I mean, it's just the greatest collegiate esport that is out there. But OC Esports, Maryville, I mean, both these teams have so much potential. This is a battle for the West for these two squads. But now Adam, of course, he was the star of the show for Northwood White last semester, and I'm expecting big things from him on this Maryville roster. But Knight, what an amazing setup.
Yeah, I don't know whether it was a mishandle or a fake. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Fake, allowing Adam to become that fox in the box, launch at it into an area where no one could save it. I think that's ingenious from Maryville. Almost go 2-0 up. Again, almost go 2-0 up. This time the woodwork denies him. And as much as Chicken tries to get away into the midfield, Knight with the turnaround, the lift up, backboard, Buddy, infield pass. Knight on the other side. Easy as it looks.
Maryville. Wow, this is the Maryville we expect to see. I was so confused too because at the Boost on the Beach land, they weren't at the top of the group that they were in. They were 2-2 for some odd reason. So Maryville, maybe they were saving all their eggs to put in this basket specifically so that they could take down Chicken with an army of chickens.
I mean, listen, so who's cooking the dinner? Who's cooking the dinner at the end of it all? Well, Maryville so far has really confounded the critics. We were looking at that first round Boise-Maryville matchup and thinking, oh God, you know, Maryville, if they lose that, are they going to have the will, the desire to go for a lower bracket run? But they didn't even need it for it. Again, beating Boise State, admittedly going the distance to Game 7, but the fact that you even have that W on your record is so impressive, and they have not looked back since.
Wow, this is crazy to think about. OC Esports, I mean, I was talking to them up a big game at Maryville. Relatively silent in some events during this quote-unquote CRL offseason, and now they are showing up here. They're showing up big in Game 1, but again, this is a best of 7. I don't think we're going to get 2 sweeps here, Relic, on the day, but who knows?
It would be incredibly unfortunate for you if there were 2 sweeps on the day, because I was hoping that we'd be able to give you 2 absolute barnstormers, and that might still be the case, of course. 2-0 leads, better than 1-0 leads. Still slightly too precarious for my liking, and we're starting to see the passing plays connect for OC Esports. G-Man, he is the man.
That's what I expect to see from G-Man. I mean, was able to take control of the situation, but Chicken, that was a beautiful pass directly to him. Had the pre-jump into the air, of course, as well, but could have easily been taken out of the equation by the Maryville defense. I like the ingenuity from OC Esports, and this is feeling like a more mechanical game than the last series.
It was beautifully weighted, and I think perhaps we should be expecting more mechanics given the 6 players currently taking to the field. I mean, just on name value alone, they have that step up in quality that we would certainly hope to see, which we are seeing. And Maryville, their feathers rustle. They're looking to go for that third to re-establish some semblance of comfort. The G-Man through the corner. He's going to give this up to Adam. Maybe the plan not going, to plan on that occasion. Setup for Maryville pretty decent. On target Buddy. On target Knight. Save from Chili, and G-Man plays it slow, but steady at the same time. Into the midfield line.
I think that was the wise decision there for G-Man. He saw that Buddy was mirroring him, didn't have much boost at the time, but didn't exactly know that that was the case. So could have easily been challenged in an odd position and gave away full control to Maryville. We did eventually see that happen, but OC Esports were able to delay pressure for mere moments, and that matters so much in just a 5-minute game. Still, OC Esports looking for their second, and to get that, they need control of the ball. It seems to be ripped away at every angle by Maryville University.
So danger here. As Maryville encroach on blue territory, but the breakout opportunity is here. Chicken, great demo! Oh, Chili! Too spicy for the Maryville defense.
That was beautiful. Chili setting up Chicken, going for the demo, clearing the way, and that's the second time we've seen him play like that today.
I gotta say, he is doing a good job to shut me up. Calling the roster more balanced, were you? We don't need balance, we just need better creativity, and they are providing it in spades. 2-2. 60 seconds left, it's on your screens, folks. But Maryville, again, with every lurch forward, they really look a threatening force. Ominous, you could say, but they do have to get that ball over the line in the first place. Of course, a reminder, we haven't seen it today. Should we hit 0 seconds with high goal situation, that means overtime, that means golden goal, that means that it is all up in the air.
Well, with it being tied 2-2 and time ticking down, both these teams are going to try and push their limits to make sure OT is not a possibility. Demos come through, bumps happen, but Chicken is inevitable here as they try to cross the road and answer the age-old question. Setting up the backboard for Chili, just has to drop down for G-Man, but nobody goes for it. What is happening?
I mean, G-Man went for it, he just missed.
Yeah.
He just missed.
I think he expected a challenge, though.
Possibly, but then you get inside your own head. Not exactly what we'd expect from G-Man. I called him the connoisseur of confidence yesterday because, I mean, listen, we were doubting whether OC could get back into the Open Series. They were losing 2-0, by the way. Oh, and they almost lost 3-2 here. But for the woodwork coming in handy yet again. Overtime locked in.
Wow, that was stressful to say the least. G-Man now trying to go for redemption with the flick, but will be denied by Adam. Not going to be so easy to dunk on one of the highest scoring players in CRL the last semester. Still, OC Esports, no strangers to danger themselves. Chili, G-Man kind of getting tossed up a little bit, but that's okay. The defense seems to be having the same issue for Maryville, so both these teams can tell that this one game is going to matter a lot throughout the rest of this series, because that could be the difference between winning and losing based on how this one goes down. Boise, though, get the win over Pescados, which is Fisher. Still, we'll see how those matches go later on in the bracket.
Would you believe it? They did get a game. He did get a game. It was a closer one than Oakland Southern Miss. Bet you didn't have that on your bingo card at the beginning of the day. That was a great opportunity. Still is. It's Chili on target. Oh, Adam comes to the rescue of Buddy, who was watching on in horror at his mistake. Nice clearance, and it's going to reach Buddy as well, who goes for the fake, goes for the little flip body even maybe. Here's Knight now intercepting this potential clearance midair. Buddy's tonight. The drop down. Lovely read from G-Man on the defensive side of things. We continue rotating through the Maryville offense here. Adam, musty flick, a little too far past the post.
Flip reset into a musty flick. I talked about mechanics before. That's exactly what we were seeing. But mechanics over matter, it feels like, because demos seems to be exactly what these teams need. The counterattack, though. Knight with the setup. There goes the shot. Chili with the denial. And that is the perfect positioning to stop that one in its tracks.
Big overcommit from OC, and Maryville will have spotted that. They'll know that they can maybe sit in a little bit deeper and again go for that counterpunch possibility, seeing it a lot in the Collegiate series. It's not about what happens in front of your own net, it's about how quickly you can get to the opposition. Chili, oh, so close, and yet again, it's the 3 bars around the goal mouth that come to a rescue of a team. This time, Maryville sweating buckets. 2 minutes into overtime. It really could have ended by now. I'm surprised it hasn't.
So close, yet so far for both these teams, as you mentioned, to end things throughout this OT, but it just goes to show how close of a series this is supposed to be. Chili, if it was a little bit cleaner of a cut, could have easily been a goal, but Adam, pressure, the presence of mind, and the strength that we have seen from them, just that much more threatening. That was threatening itself, but somehow able to deflect it away was G-Man.
Yeah, that was not a great launch off the backboard for G-Man, a little bit too early. I definitely understand the want to try and undercut your opposition's rotation, but it's taking it that step too far. It's that Icarus factor. How close to the sun do you want to fly? Well, Adam's certainly got the mechanics in him as well. Good challenge from G-Man. Buddy, it's Chicken getting bullied in the net, and G-Man with a doink away, but a bump into Chicken himself. They keep on mistying their shoelaces over each other to OC Esports. It allows Maryville to reset, go for the second shot, but Chicken does well to lift it over the attacking player.
Well, comes through, clearing the net is Chili. Knight avoids it though perfectly, otherwise would have been a simple goal. Demos back and forth, explosions, and still not seeming to be the end of this battlefront between these two teams, as they are giving it their all, putting their car bodies on the line to take down the opposition, but it still is not proving to be sufficient for them to get the victory, get the edge over their odds that they are facing right now. And it seems to be such a struggle for both these teams, but one good push is all it's going to take for either side to get the game 1 win.
I think Maryville ideally looking for that isolation of G-Man, who has been not
really
wanting necessarily, but there's a couple of moments where you're thinking, that needs to be cleaned up, otherwise they're in trouble. Chicken trying to buy a little bit of time, does as well as he can with no boost. That could have gone anywhere, a bit further past the post than OC would have wanted. Mercifully past the post from a Maryville perspective. Chicken now throwing it again downfield, looking for G-Man to get onto it. Waterfalls down, and Buddy throws it off to the side. Smart play, Chicken can't do anything with it.
Wow. Saying that we're almost at an entire game of Rocket League being played, but it was potentially going to be over then and then. Then at that moment, excuse me, for OC Esports to get the final goal. Demos again, Chicken clearing the way, waiting for a potential setup, does get almost centered. Again, it's stopped out by Knight, who seems to be thwarting any of the plans OC Esports have. They need to turn on the lights because Knight is dangerously scary to them, it feels like.
OC game plan. Pass, 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 pass. It's Season 5 Prime Dignitas, my friends. That's what OC Esports does so well.
Oh my goodness, what a save!
Oh, what a save! Ingenuity off his own post. Taking a big risk. It pays off big time. Chicken with the reset, and a pinch play again relieves the pressure for Maryville.
This is insanity for both of these teams. I don't know how a goal has not been scored so far, but Maryville, just by sheer will, are preventing this game from ending unless they are the ones to get the goal. OC Esports, they're throwing everything for it. It's still not proven to be enough, but no, this potential attack is not going to be enough that time. Will be denied by the defense. Both defenders almost caught off guard, and this is a potential for Adam. Goes for the shot. Nobody is there. No!
It feels like such a damn squib of an end to an incredible overtime. But you can see Chili, G-Man just hesitates for a moment, and that 1 second of hesitation means that Adam has a one-way ticket. It's heading to the back of the net. Listen, I don't know whether to say Maryville deserves that, because that overtime, Maryville had the better sustained pressure. I think Oakland. I think
played better for the most part.
I think they had the better chances. I think they had the better chances. I'm just saying.
One mistake is all it takes in OT, and unfortunately that was the mistake at the end, hesitating for a moment, not wanting to double commit, but that is the time to do it when a shot comes in that quickly. Unfortunate for OC Esports, but again, there was such a early start of a lead for Maryville, and I feel like it became almost insurmountable towards the end of that it was inevitable for Maryville to potentially get the victory in that game one, and that proved to be the case. But they shouldn't be too brokenhearted over that game one, because that was still an amazing performance from them. They were so close, so many steps of the way. It's the defense was insane. I mean, we saw good defense last series. This just trumped it in a single game in OT.
It truly did. And I think, look, Oklahoma Christian, I don't think that they can go home brokenhearted necessarily. I mean, go home. They're not going home just yet. They still have 2 lives on the board, but like, you know, they can't go into this break feeling downtrodden. Like, yeah, that was a really hard fought game. It's unfortunate that they come on the wrong side of the result. However, the fact that they did come back from 2-0 down to even force that overtime in the first place, and then make Maryville work so hard just to get that opening goal. Let's consider it this way: it was the 1 lapse in defense that did make the difference at the end of the day. If you play like that throughout the rest of the series, I think you're going to be picking up series points left, right, and center. But let's give our credit to Maryville as well. I loved how they reacted. I loved how they reacted to how Oklahoma Christian continued to grow in that game, because they went pace for pace with them. They themselves came out on top. They got to be feeling good.
They do have to feel good, but they could feel better if they didn't give up those 2 goals to OC Esports to force it to go to OT. They had the bag in their hands, and unfortunately it was almost ripped away by OC Esports. Luckily their grip was strong enough, and they were able to hold on well enough for them to eventually eke out that final goal in OT, but that was too close for comfort. Maryville saw a couple of cases almost happen in the last series, but that was as close as can be over a game of OT. And then Maryville University, if they could get an opening goal here, momentum will continue to be in their favor, but that's not the touch you wanted. G-Man with an open net, and that's going to go through every day of the week.
Exactly what they were hoping for. Not even an overcommitment from Maryville, just a poor touch from Adam. G-Man's already on his bike. The follow-up simple. Fair play tonight, gets a piece of it, but not back fast enough to be able to hit it off and out the crossbar. Even if it does come off the crossbar, Bod, there's a player there ready to follow up with that second shot opportunity. This kickoff has gone disastrously for OC, and that's the result.
Ouch, that's gotta hurt. I said they were broken heart before, but now they need open heart surgery. It feels like, to get the blood pumping so that they can at least have a lifeline after that kickoff goal went so disastrously. But again, it's not over yet. Still tied, and it's only been not even the first minute yet in game 2. Again, I talked about, the last game really showed how close this series is going to be. This just really shows Maryville, they're never going to give you any time to breathe, any room to work with. And they kind of gave the other team room to work with then, and just made me contradict myself. I don't know how that happened. Chili going for the backward read, and that What is happening this game? This is sloppy.
It felt like Adam was playing for OC. He was putting it. I mean, I'd understand if there was a third player coming in and it was just a pass back, but it wasn't even that. They were just taking it away from net. And OC's like, okay, let's run with this plan then. Go straight down the other side, re-establish that lead. Where's the great defense gone? Did we imagine that?
Went out the window.
Happening?
I think there's just so much pressure that came to a head at the end in that OT, and then they took a big sigh of relief that it was over, and then realized, oh yeah, that's only game one. This is a best of 7. They have to strap in for the long haul. Well, OC Esports, I mean, they're glad to take the lead again so quickly after they gave it away in that kickoff scenario. But Knight, looking to just do everything themselves, somehow saved away, but that was beautiful. Adam, if they did not get back in time, that would have been an easy transition goal.
Yeah, and there was a little flick over, wasn't there? It was very dangerous indeed for Maryville, who threw the kitchen sink at that and still didn't come out with any sort of reward for it. Adam looking for Knight, who's on this right wing. Going inwards, it's going to be Adam. Oh my word, who redirects it, hits, shatters, bends and breaks the woodwork, but it doesn't go invulnerable. That's the crucial thing. These shots all look very nice and pretty, but you actually have to get it across the line.
This aggressive playstyle from Maryville is so interesting to see too. All 3 players, all offense, all the way. No OC Esports. Just kind of got to be patient a little bit. Wait for some of these attacks to come through. They'll be able to get some counterattacks going for themselves, and I think they have learned that after that first game, after first goal that we saw off the kickoff. Chicken, so close, just mere pixels away, and that would have been another goal.
Just missed the execution, right? I did. G-Man Central looking for Chili. It's going to be Buddy who gets in front of him with disruption. Knight. How much boost has he got? Is he willing to go solo? He's not got much boost and he's not willing to go solo, but he does have backup. There's Buddy, shot on target, saved away. Back into the center via Adam. This should be easy for G-Man, and it is. Looking for that transition, not going to happen. Takes 100 boost. Adam beats out Chili. G-Man, lovely play again. Disruption Central. The Adam, the turnaround, the potential flip, but Chili having none of it. Brilliant defense back on song, OC Esports.
This is stressful. That's all I got to say about this series. But OC Esports, they are taking it in stride, and that's exactly what they need to be doing. Time ticking down. Got to see what Maryville can do to turn things up a notch. I mean, they've been trying to do that on offense. It bit them in the butt twice for the 2 goals that we did see scored against them in game 2. And OC Esports, since they got that opening goal, and especially the second one, they're feeling so much more confident even after that crushing fortunate loss that they faced in OT. And again, this just goes to show how confident this team has become over the years. And OC Sports with Chili and G-Man and even Chicken stepping up to the plate. That's exactly what we want to see for this squad.
I'm very impressed with Chicken, gotta say, especially in the face of North doing so well. Great to see him being creative. That's an open net. G-Man not willing to go for the slicer. The setup for Chicken was sublime, but Knight meets it. Brilliant play, but just 45 seconds left. They need a goal, not more defensive masterclasses, Maryville.
Less than 40, and there comes the shot. G-Man again. You talked about defensive masterclass. That's exactly what we were seeing from them on the backboard, saving the day and paving the way with those demos too, but denied access to the Maryville half. That's exactly what Maryville needs, but they need to just take G-Man out of the equation because he seems to be the solution to every problem for OC Esports right now.
Good lift. Again, OC Esports stubborn, the runaway. Buddy needs a good pinch opportunity. Demo on Chili does open up the possibilities, but Chicken with a masterful, and look at that bump on the, oh sorry, miss on the backboard, I should say. Chili with a free shot, almost sinks it too. What a response from Oklahoma Christian.
Wow.
High series at 1-1.
Good bounce back, and I'm actually typing to the new coach for OC Esports, Pass for the Pass. Shout out to our fellow caster there. He's really just noticing that Maryville being so aggressive with their playstyle to their detriment, and that's exactly what happened in that game. They weren't cool, calm, and collected. They weren't as ready for anything as it seemed like they were in OT. They wanted to make sure, hey, we got scored on twice in a row, and we shouldn't have had that happen with the caliber of players that we have here. Let's turn it up to 11. Well, they turned it up a little bit too far, overclocked things, and then their PCs blew up. And that seems to be the case of what happened on defense there for that game too.
You know, you want something more like a heartbeat monitor. You know, like a beep, beep, listen, you need to have the calm moments where you're harvesting resources and then you go again, then you turn up the wick. If you see a heart monitor and it's like up there and just a flat line, not a great situation. And actually, I think it benefited OC greatly, simply on the fact that they were able to get into a defensive rhythm. You know, the pace kept on ramping up, but they were so comfortable with their rotations that as soon as they saw that window to strike back, they took it with aplomb. Okay, they only get 2 goals at the end of this particular game, but those 2 goals are enough. And any other attempt on target was something that threw Maryville out of rhythm. So I think that's a great response overall. But do Maryville adapt from here on out? Like, that's always the question now. Are OC able to continue this form? Are Maryville going to do exactly the same thing again? I doubt that very much so.
I'm so curious to see how it is going to go for the rest of the series. Do we go to 7? Is it just going to be, oh, Maryville gave up 1 and then they readjust and recalibrate themselves to just dominate the competition? Curious to know until we get into game 3, but we mentioned it before and I keep mentioning it here for good reason. This is going to be a close series, and that's exactly what we have seen so far.
Yes, 100%. And I think game 7 is something deserving of an upper final. I think everybody would like to see it, except the teams themselves. They would have loved to walk out with a 4-0 sweep. You know, thank you very much. I'll take that all the way home. It's never quite so simple, is it? And this has been one of the highest quality games, series, everything of the Rally Cry Collegiate series. This is why we love Collegiate in the first place. And OC, look, start how they left that last game off, but they weren't able to make the breakthrough. Big send, but they haven't been punished for it either.
Ooh, I was holding my breath there for a second because I'm like, punishment might come through here in just a moment, but it didn't happen that time. So less than 30 seconds in. Well, at that moment for the holding breath time. Okay, no one was in position afterwards, but that was still a beautiful pass from D-Man. Still, OC Esports, I mean, they are giving it their all. They're taking their time and trying to play with grace and humility, and that seems to be a great strategy for them. They are making sure that they don't overextend themselves and making sure that, yes, maybe we could send the whole fence at the other team, but it's not what you need. It's when you are taking these moments to yourselves and having an individual player challenge the world, and they can beat them out, having at least someone there to support them. That's what seems to be what is working for OC Esports, and Maryville's the exact opposite. Send everyone is what they're saying.
I mean, biggest issue yesterday, Bob, for OC was complacency. Through and through. It's why North provided something of a counterbalance, because as a sub, you're coming in and you're like, you know, I've got to prove myself almost. You know, it doesn't matter how experienced you are, you're being asked to step up to fill out the main roster. So the fact that he played as well as he did was a huge boon to OC Esports, but a completely different picture here. OC, so much responsibility being handed to every player. As soon as I say that, the ball has harmlessly ended up in the opposition half. It's found its way into the back of the net. It's a brilliant shot from Knight.
That's just unfortunate for the defense there. And again, Knight really just trying to elevate the play for Maryville in this game, and that's what we expect from this veteran of Maryville, the only remaining player on the main roster from the original roster last semester. So even with this synergy that you expect to see from Buddy and Adam, Knight getting those kind of plays is huge for them, but I don't think that 1 goal is going to be enough for a victory here, Relic.
No, I agree, and honestly, I think OC Esports is going to be, I mean, they're going to be baffled that Knight got enough power and got that on target as well from a very difficult angle. Great musty flick again, equally good save, but you're going to be asking yourself, that was a slower shot than perhaps you'd expect otherwise. Should there be someone there? Were they overselling themselves? Maybe, maybe not.
Maybe.
Half the game left to, again, find a remedy, find some sort of an equalizer, but this all-out attack from Maryville is at least producing results at last.
Chicken just feeling so confident, I'm noticing here as well, and the way that he's able to perform. So close! The bump was perfect, got the angle just mere centimeters away from scoring that into the net. No OC Esports are going to want that one back, but again, speaking of having it back, E-Man, pop-up, nobody in position though to fall through. Chili shot towards the net, and Adam just bails out the whole defense because he wasn't there. That was going to get slotted into the back of the net that time.
Yeah, listen, we all like kisses, but we don't like those lips. Those lips between floor and post, they are so annoying, whether it's going to deny you a goal or whether it's going to trip you up if you're rotating in back fast and you somehow get caught up on it. They're nasty, nasty things, and
Wow.
OC Esports is going to be cursing the day until they can find themselves another goal back in this one. Certainly better, great demo. There's a pump on Chili as well. Players flying, flailing about in the orange nets. Over 2 from Chicken, all on his own. Some G-Man now going for the backboard. Sharp angle, Knight able to corral this under his control somewhat. Still dangerous. G-Man,
Wow.
Knight in the right place at the right time.
The Chicken just trying to play interference onto Adam so that he couldn't even get anywhere towards that ball. Chili having to get that one up a little bit too early for their liking, was expecting more of a quick aerial attack from one of the defenders for Maryville, and wasn't feeling as confident with the control that they had on the ball at the moment. Now back on the offensive side of things though, let's get the center. It'll be Adam in position, and you can tell OC Esports taking their time figure out where they want to fully commit. Because once they do, if they miss, Maryville are poised to get that second goal and secure the game win and the second game under their category for this series. But G-Man with a good shot, not enough just yet to squeeze past the defense.
Maryville knows as soon as OC send the Hail Mary that it's going to look a little bit easier for them to score down the other end. Adam goes wide. The Toying Cup burns more time off the clock. G-Man reacts well, pushes forward. Chicken's looking for blood. A stop through the corner via Chili. Back, Buddy's on the backboard. Adam with the transition, not on target, but enough time has been burned. It's keep it up or lose the game. That is the order of the day for this OC roster. G-Man past one. Oh! Bit of a meeting in the middle, bit of a spaghetti junction. Yeah, but getting away with it. Maryville, 2-1 up in the series, lead reestablished.
That was insane. OC Esports so close a couple times here and there, but close is not enough here for this series and for the victory. And there just only being a single goal is crazy to me as well, because the one goal was not really being too far out of position. It's more just Knight was able to get an insane touch and read on the play on the transition, and then, well, you couldn't really do anything because it was already too powerful and too far past you at that moment in time. Still, OC Esports trying to see if they can lock in this next game, tie it up 2-2, because again, they are not going down without a fight.
100%. And I think that I don't even think that Knight necessarily intended for it to be a shot that was going to be converted into a goal.
No, I don't think so at all.
It's just sort of like continue to clear the lines, and then we'll try and figure out something from there. Just lucky for him that the OC defense wasn't at home. The door was very much unlocked on that occasion. So bit of a to and fro series then. Still incredibly high quality, but that definitely felt like a regression from both sides. Even though Maryville was looking the more aggressive, it was nowhere near as steely as we saw in game number 2. To their credit, I think they looked a lot more secure at the back.
We'll have to see as we get into the next game how things are going to go down. Will it be OC Esports bouncing back and tying things up? Will Maryville force it to be a match point there specifically? Again, doesn't matter who technically wins this, because there's still another chance if you lose to move on into the grand finals. So this is just one step in the journey. It does matter if you want to make that much easier for yourself and guarantee a spot in the grand finals for winning this series, but still everything on the line. And if you can win this one, why can't you do it again if there is a rematch in the grand finals? And Buddy trying to do something here. It's been relatively silent on offense, I noticed, until that one shot.
Yeah, there is only one unknown here, and that's going to be the final score, but this is still very much a Willy Wonka experience in that you're going to get that golden ticket through to the grand final if you make it to the end with a W next to your name. And 4 minutes 30 left on the clock, still plenty of time to make that difference, to pop off, to stand up for your team and really show the opposition and us that you are going to be counted amongst the very best in the collegiate scene at this moment in time.
First minute, pretty uneventful between these two teams as they are looking to battle through gauntlet that is the individual moments of each of these games, because it changes on a dime between these two squads on who has control, who has the better chance to score at that moment. I'm liking these possession plays from Chicken. The dunk as well, almost in the net again. It just seems the unfortunate fashion that we saw the goal go in OT in game 1 seems to continue to plague OC Esports, except on their own caliber of goals they are going for.
It's a mathematical equation. Chicken plus sauce equals dunk. Unfortunately, not a good enough dunk for OC Esports, and the rostrum demoed is chicken. Speaking of, and Knight, again, he's done so well at both ends of the field, really love. Not exactly a box-to-box style player, but somebody you can definitely set up for the transitional play as a beauty. Adam, disruption, chilly forward, goes to the wall here. G-Man in support. Nice turn up of pace off the top of the box. Buddy makes the save, waiting on the wings is Chippy past one. Wow, Knight avoids the bump and gets the ball away from a dangerous area.
Touched by Man 2 on the clear, but not much of a follow-up afterwards. Gave up too much control. Made it a bit harder for them to sustain themselves on offense, so going for some more plays before they can back up on their own end and pick up some boost along the way. I feel like in this specific game compared to the other ones, boost control and management will be a huge factor between these two squads. They try to speed things up and change the pace for the better, depending on which squad is able to speed things up to their liking. Both Maryville and OC Esports having to just guzzle as much boost as they can, but demos coming through don't make it any easier for OC Esports. Maryville surrounding them like a pack of hyenas, hungry and chopping at the bit for their first goal of this game.
Let me tell you, Bob, nobody is laughing. It's very much try-hard mode for all 6 of these players. Definitely feels like who's going to be able to pre-read an errant touch, or who's going to be able to pre-read where the ball falls after a challenge that ends neutral. Less than 2 minutes now. No breakthrough for either team. Really equal chances for either side as well. Nobody really with the advantage as of yet. Looking for a cute touch there. G-Man ultimately follows up, but Knight again on cleanup duty. It's Isle DFH, and he is the janitor right now.
Unfortunate there after the passing play that Knight was in a perfect position to stop that from going any further. So will be the case where OC Esports have to go for another pass off the ceiling, though. It's wide open territory, but nobody, okay, I was about to say nobody, it looked like, was in position, but also nobody on the defense was, and Chicken will take advantage and get that goal.
Big double commit. Buddy really should have had a little bit more faith in Knight, or at the very least, if Knight was going for it, if he was going to miss, Buddy should be in a much better position than removing himself completely from the play. I'm glad that OC were able to react to that as quickly as they did. Chicken in particular, it's an open net. It would be a disgrace not to score it. Maryville's going to be kicking themselves. 65 seconds left.
It's funny. Bass watching the stream a little bit behind from what we are seeing is like loving how they're playing, just need their team to score, and that's exactly what happened with Chicken there, just spoken into existence, and that's what OC Esports are doing here and now. They are looking on top of the world, but one goal, will it be enough? 1 minute is less than the time that they have. We see it now, Chicken just playing out of their mind and exactly where we wanted them to play this past season in CRL, and they have leveled up their playstyle throughout this series. Again, as I keep saying, is that going to be enough for them to take down Maryville and tie it up yet again? It's wide open. Knight can get to it. He does get the save, but G-Man with the finish. Oh, that's the softest touch you could have ever seen.
It's a scuffed save. Oh, you gotta feel so bad for Knight. It's like that meme where that guy's just been woken up by a torchlight. You're desperately reaching for your phone to turn off the alarm, but not able to get there successfully in time. That's gonna be a breath of relief for OC Esports, and maybe they can look for a third. At the very least, they need to delay proceedings in the midfield as a lash from Buddy is saved by G-Man. 15 seconds left now, and look at Maryville. That is the Hail Mary. That's in field. It's dealt with well enough by Adam, but they need 2 goals, and they need 1 goal at the very least right now. Right now has gone. Vodable. That's how quickly these things move. OC Esports tie things up again. They did get a goal on the buzzer, but it's a 1-goal game nonetheless.
2-2, going the distance, or at least a couple more games for both these two teams. It's not guaranteed game 7, but it is slowly approaching that. Insane to see how this is going. Again, getting some insight from Bass. Loving to hear this conversation from him. Told Chicken to go full aggro mode and have him in-game lead so the team allows him to cut and focus rotations around him. is working so well. That's exactly what we're seeing here. And one thing I wanted to note too, apparently Chili is from OCE, and being on OCE Esports, I feel like this is fate.
That's amazing.
For this player.
It's incredible. It's all coming together. Also, Bass, don't give away too many of your secrets in chat. Maryville might be watching. Be careful, my friend. Or maybe he's just that giving of a guy. He's pretty nice. I have that on record.
Goodness.
But, okay, look, OC Esports. Listen, we can hype them up. We can get super excited for Bass. We can get super excited for this team. Once they've gone behind, once they've brought it back, once they've gone behind, once they've brought it back. But we're getting into that territory, Vodable, where the next winner is on match point scenario. They absolutely have to take the lead. Otherwise, they're giving that shot of confidence to their opponents. Maryville, I think if they see that match point in sight, they're gunning for it.
Apparently, Chili was also on Dumb Luck Esports in OCE and made top 24 in NA this split. Is one round off of RLCS. So that's just crazy to see. These players in CRL are pushing the envelope and moving across continents to see how they can level up their game, get an education, and also participate in these kind of events. And that's just the greatest thing of why Collegiate Rocket League is such a great atmosphere for these teams, because you get the top level competition and the best storylines that are out there. And this is not even done with the series at Relic. We're only partway through, tied up between these two teams. But as you're mentioning, if OC Esports wants to win this, they need to get the victory in this game.
Lovely setup initially. Adam has to score, and he does so. Beautiful from Buddy.
I mean, after the 0-second goal we saw from Adam before, we kind of expected more pressure from them, and all three players were in a position for that to be converted into a goal. If it wasn't Adam, it was going to be Knight. They're just having a smoke screen in front of the net. So Maryville, they are doing everything right to start off strong in this game 5. But this isn't a best of 5, it's a best of 7. So they still need more where that came from in terms of goals and games.
Oh, is it? Well, I don't know how much G-Man knew about this, but sometimes they giveth Adam, and sometimes they taketh away, and the deities of Rocket League most certainly took away from you on this night.
Took a bite of the apple and regretted it, I guess you could say there. But Maryville, we will see OC Esports quickly tie things up. And that's not the first time this has happened in this series, Relic. That a goal has gone through and then a crazy kickoff goal happens to come to fruition afterwards. But OC Esports trying desperately to make sure that this game is going to be the one that counts to get them the lead, to get them onto match point and take down Maryville University. But Maryville, I know I've been talking so much about OC Esports. That's because Maryville are literally doing everything right for the most part, being as aggressive as they can be and not really making too many mistakes, forcing OC Esports to pull out insane plays to take them down a peg. And it just goes to show how strong this Maryville roster is.
It got to be deflating as well after scoring such a pretty goal. You know, in contention for one of the prettiest passing play goals of the game, of the series so far, I should say. And then you can see that goal. That goal, really? That's just how good crumble sometimes. It's about that mental resolve. You just got to brush it off and say, oh well. From an OC perspective, they're going to be annoyed that they actually conceded a goal straight off kickoff themselves. Everything rights itself eventually. Balance is key in the universe. Yin and yang, whatever other cliche you want to throw out there. 3 minutes 30 left to make another difference.
Well, some updates from the land that Oakland is at. Unfortunately, they got swept by Norfolk, but kept it close for the most part. So we'll have to see what can go down here and now. OC Esports looking for anything necessary to get an advantage over top of Maryville, but currently it is not going to be enough just yet. Saw that aggression that we were talking about, the in-game leadership that Bass was alluding to for Chicken. Well, this is some great looks from them. A follow through again from G-Man, but will be denied by the defense. They got to be careful. A good pump, though, saves the day.
Again, I don't know how much G-Man knew about it, but he's going to be glad that he was in that right place at that right time. Lovely pressure from Knight, though. Here comes Adam. Dropped out, and a save away. It's Chili who's going to register it, though G-Man was again. Right place, right time. Tim Kim. I say Tim Kim, it's Chicken, isn't it? I can't help myself but see the name. I'm like, Tim Kim Dimmer. Again, losing brain cells. It's a great game of Rocket League. Fantastic series of Rocket League, should we expect no less from, again, top 4 at the very least.
We'll have to see if they can push the issue even more than that, but still 2 minutes left on the clock here. OC Esports looking for the finish. Maryville confidently saying that all they need is an opening, all they need is a chance, and they are going to take it, but it wasn't there at that moment, unfortunately for them. Still, Maryville and OC Esports, shot comes through, and it's going to be denied yet again. It was a wide open net, but they were hoping that they would have a chance on a follow-up, and there's just nobody there.
G-Man is at the center of everything good for OC right now, and here he is yet again, little boost, but goes for Chili. Oh, I think that was a great delivery. I think Chili just with the misread of how little it was actually going to drop. It was almost too good a pass from G-Man, ironically enough, and here's Chicken now looking to set up another backboard hit. Buddy is destroyed. G-Man tries to hit that top pocket. Knight with the save. Chili misses, was hoping that Knight would maybe get suckered into the challenge, not falling for it, and it's back into blue territory.
1 minute left. Chicken, G-Man, Chili looking for any recipe for success. Hoping that that will be enough to save themselves, but no! Stopped right at the goal line by Adam. Looking for another opportunity, but you gotta be careful about this counterattack potential. Maryville, the pre-jump from Adam to go for the challenge. Chili with a good clear, but Buddy denying it at the midfield. Not for long though, back into the clutches of Chicken. Chili does deny access to the ball again. But it might have been better if Chicken and Chili could have positioned themselves for the finish on that play. Nonetheless though, time ticking down off the backboard. Here comes the fall through the dunk. If it was on target, it would have been a goal.
I mean, the angle was there. They just went too acute with it. Really unfortunate. Down the other end. Oh, incredible! It's a big dunk from Big Adam.
Wow, that's gotta be unfortunate for OC Esports, but I talked about it. The rotations, there's not too much they could have done differently. They were giving it their all on offense to make sure that they could get the victory. It just did not prove to be enough. Maryville take one step further into the grand finals. It's time on the 0 clock. They have to go the distance, the other end of the field, potentially make this into an OT situation, but it won't be just that. Instead, Maryville make it at least to game 6, but the way the series been going, Relic, I feel like we're guaranteed a game 7.
Oh, you say that though. You say that though. It's not just the fact that they won this game, Maryville. It's the way that they won it as well. I think OC, perhaps, you know, there's the glint in the eye, isn't it, of natural-born winners. They want to take it before it hits overtime, because you go to overtime, you get that reset. You run the risk of falling out the rhythm, losing any sort of momentum that you had. Maryville was so patient, and in those defensive phases, it wasn't just about reacting to the shots that were on target. It was almost like they had the foresight to see one step ahead, and that set up so many, at the very least, clearing opportunities, if not counter-attacking opportunities, as we saw with that crucial second goal for them. I think it's so commendable how well they've done to react to OC and how they themselves have adapted. And now they've got that daylight in the series themselves. Again, another question appears. Can they convert that on match point scenario? Or will indeed we be heading to game 7? That does feel like what everybody except the teams want. Well, I guess it's what OC wants now. Of course, they've got to win 2 in a row.
Yeah, they got to win 2 in a row, and that's been the struggle for them, is winning 2 in a row. They lost that first game in OT, and I talked about it going into this series. This first game is going to very likely decide the winner of the series, and that could potentially be the case if it is going to be Maryville taking the victory here. But again, still another 5 minutes. We had a 60-second break in between. Hopefully that'll be enough for OC Esports to get back into the swing of things and things under control, because they are just missing fragments of centimeters for them to get these goals. And if they can get that accuracy locked in and on target, they will be on top of the world.
Maryville are, well, the start of this game, 5 minutes plus any additional from potentially making it into the grand finals, locking in top 2, and at the very least, a decent portion of the lion's share of that prize pool. OC Esports will be doing everything within their power to deny them, but for the moment, it's been poking, it's been prodding, very game 1 feel to this game number 6 mod.
that it is. Taking their time and making sure they can set things up properly for success. It's OC Esports so close. It's so far for getting that first goal. And I feel like that first goal is going to be so crucial for either of these teams and set the pace for the rest of the game. Maryville get it, they just need to hold on the remainder of this game. They will be guaranteed top 2. OC Esports, they get 1. So you can feel a little bit more confident, but they know that won't be enough against this kind of a squad.
Can't just rely on that one win to make the difference. But I mean, to be fair, they've got to get that one win in the first place. Otherwise, we ain't even talking about the next 5-minute period on the docket, of course. And Knight certainly won't want that either. They're looking to sew this up in 6. There's been really good so far from OC Esports. Not too much midfield control. They're bouncing back. They've opened up a passing lane, and Chimkin tries to get the dunk on Buddy. Buddy too strong. Knight right down the other end on target!
Wow.
Oh, big play!
Oh my goodness. That's really got to hurt for the side of OC Esports, but Knight has been proven to pop off when necessary, and luck seems to be on their side with the Rocket Gods. The post bouncing perfectly for that to be a goal instead of a denial. It's just not the day for OC Esports, but maybe the next 3 minutes will be the time for them instead. Push the limit and push the issue into Game 7. G-Man with potential opening, no boost though. That seems to be the struggle. I talked about that boost management before, and Maryville doing a solid job of starving out the competition.
Their clearances have been incredibly strong, to the extent where they're not having to utilize much resource at all. And they can use that to get down the other side of the pitch. But through the eye of the storm, G-Man has found a pearl.
That was insanity. Great touch by Chicken, of course, with the bump that actually bumped 2 players. It bumped Adam into Knight. It was just a domino effect there for them to take out the defense and get that goal. Beautiful play from OC Esports to tie things up. But again, just tying things up will not be enough for this squad to tie up the series yet again for the 3rd time in a row. Again, though, we do see Buddy dunking on the competition.
Mistake, big mistake, as G-Man, he tries to pre-read it, goes up in the air and realizes, uh-oh, somebody else has. And now we need to also turn around and retreat and get back into position defensively. There's not enough time to do all of those actions, Vaughn. And Maryville, really, that was one of the easiest goals.
Seriously.
Of course, in terms of pressure, like one of the highest goals. But I mean, talk about pressure. This man shirks it off.
What is G-Man doing? He's eating his Wheaties for sure. Off the ceiling, gets the read and the double tap, and gets the finish as well. 220 with 2 goals on either side. This is insanity between these 2 teams, and we're not even over yet with this game, really.
It's the loyal dog that won't leave the side of its owner. Bark, 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 and they are not going to shut up until they get the food that they rightly deserve, because they're a good boy. And every single one of these players is putting everything on the line. Okay, the mistakes are still there, but they've got heart. All 3 players solo standard special to make the save. Big 100 pickup for Maryville on the midfield line. Chili and Chimkin looking to combine, and they do so successfully. Runaway opportunity. Chili and Chicken bump, though, so simple for Adam, but Chicken's done well to readjust. Buddy trying to corral it back into this corner, and does so. A moment to breathe for Maryville.
I need a moment to breathe after this series, because this is exactly the kind of series that takes your breath away. I talked about goals that did exactly that for these teams in the previous games, but oh my goodness, almost taken away was the potential for a lead by OC Esports, as they do deny access to the goal line. Who else but G-Man was popping off like a star should. Still need to start scoring. Want them to go the distance at least to a Game 7 now that we are so close to that finish line. But you know Maryville knocking at the door every moment that they can, every opportunity that is given to them. They are going to take advantage of it. The demo makes it difficult, but Chicken is not going to have any contest there in the air. It will be Adam taking it away.
G-Man's there again. Stops 2 for the price of 1. But he continues to charge. Chicken throws right back to sender and over to the top of Adam too. G-Man takes up the 100 boost, important infield. Look at the bump there. So close. Had Knight been removed, That's 3-2. And what a time to do it at as well, with just 20 seconds and change left. Knight heads back into the midfield. Chili with the pre-read. That's huge. Everyone sent straight back to square one for Maryville. Infield pass. G-Man not able to latch onto it. Buddy to Knight. Box-to-box action here in this series. Maryville 1 goal away from the grand finals. OC Esports 1 goal away from game 7. Maryville in the ascendancy with seconds left. Chili has to clear this. Does so with limited options. Chicken! G-Man keeps it up there, looking to try and end it now. I don't blame them either. Maryville say absolutely not. It's overtime.
Knight's like, good night. We're going to be going into OT instead, and puts that one to sleep. And this game potentially as well. G-Man with the save. They need to follow through. If that was open, and they could have finished it.
OC Esports on kickoffs. They are a complicated mistress, aren't they? Sometimes they find such joy. Other times, if the kickoff goes against them, it really feels like they struggle to react quickly enough because they've gone full send. G-Man on target! Chili's trying to go for the redirect!
Okay, I get it, I get it,
That was the right call, but like...
What's the right call? It's a rough call, though.
Yeah.
Bit too parallel with the goal line instead of forwarding it into the back of the net. Chicken with the dribble, gets it over top one, goes for the mid-air, and it's an own goal too! It will be OC Esports pushing it into game 7!
I am baffled, I am bemused, I am befuddled. Buddy, Chimkin, Knight, I think it was Chimkin who probably gets the credit at the end of the day, goes for that ahead of the ball run that makes it so difficult for Buddy to make the save because he's going to get bumped out the way anyway. It's a solo moment. It's a Chicken certified moment. It's a game 7 moment. It's audible. I'm so glad you get to be here with me.
I don't know if this is 100% true. We're getting word. We will get word here in a second, but I did hear from Bass that Maryville forfeited game 7. So we'll see if that's the case. Potentially because the land that is going on, because the series is going on too long, they might have to go into that next matchup. We'll get word from the admins here in a second.
No, not like this.
I don't know what is going on there. I hope that's not the case.
It's
but
5
yeah, not
minutes.
like this.
It's 5 minutes. Surely you have 5 minutes to spare, Maryville.
Oh,
no.
man.
I mean, listen, what a moment for Chicken if it is the match winner. But, I mean, as a competitive player, you don't want a game 6 winner going into game 7 to be the match locked. I mean, no, not like this.
Oh, my
not
goodness.
Like this. Surely we're eyes on stalks at chat right now to see if there's anything.
We'll get an update there in a second, but that is what I'm hearing from their coach of OC Esports. And man, that's the factor about playing on the land. You might have another match, and they don't want to forfeit that potentially if they also have that going on. And they do have a second chance if it does go to the lower bracket.
They
come on, this is game 7. Come on.
Because you know, I don't have a bias either way for game 7. I think both teams are so equally matched.
Oh man.
I mean, maybe that's part of the worry for Maryville, that it does spill over into another 5-minute plus overtime.
Yeah.
And then that is a worry, of course, for the referees live on LAN.
Oh my goodness. Well, even if that is the end of the series, Relic, I mean, what an end that is. So we'll get an update on that in a second, but we'll see what is going on here. Just trying to inform our admins on the potential of what is going on here.
Apparently our admins haven't been told anything. Maybe this is what Bass wants. Maybe Bass wants the free pass into the grand final. No, I to be fair, I mean Bass is born from the same blood as us as commentators. We all want to see that game 7 irrespective of who wants to go where. But to be fair, that is the word from OC Esports. We'll wait for the official word from Maryville. And we should speak of Maryville, of course, because if this is to be the end, they just reported. What is the report, though?
No. I think the report means that they are forfeiting that game.
Shout out to all of our admins behind the scenes, by the way, doing the Rocket League Lord's work. I think that this is going to be, unfortunately, the end to the series that nobody wanted. We had one of the best Rally Cry Collegiate series of the semester. To end like this, it is a forfeit confirmed for Maryville. With that goal, Chicken has secured Oklahoma Christian a berth into the grand finals, which, good on them. but I wish that it could have been settled on the field.
Well, let's take a look at the replays at least from the series, because wow, that is an insane result. We didn't expect it to go that way, but hey, OC Esports were saying, oh, they need to win 2 games in a row. They couldn't do that, but hey, a forfeit works.
Sure. Man, I mean, guys, we don't even really need to talk over these replays because the quality speaks for itself. Banger play after banger play, some excellence from every single player. There wasn't a bad performance, you know, individual moments here and there, which we could be really picky on if we wanted to, VOD, but we don't want to. It was phenomenal. It deserved the game 7 that we've been robbed of.
Yeah, exactly. So hopefully we get it later on once more of those LAN matches are finished up. Thankfully, Oakland, well, not thankful for them, of course. They got 4-0'd by Northwood on the St. Clair ex-colleague LAN. So they are going to be locked in for that lower bracket series against Boise. And man, that is insane to see that Maryville is forfeiting that game 7. Still though, I mean, we basically got 7 games that series with
pretty much,
amount
yeah,
of overtime that was played. Yeah, so maybe they just didn't expect to go to OT for that long, and that's the miscalculation they had on their part.
Yeah, the optimist in me is like, yeah, but what if Maryville go away, play that LAN series, and then afterwards come back and play the final game? But we wouldn't get to see it, of course, because the broadcast, the show, it must go on, everyone. We have to dip into the lower bracket. We've got to give Boise State and Oakland University their time in the spotlight because that's the battle to finish 4th, or rather not to finish 4th in this case. You want to finish higher than that. You want to make it into the lower bracket final, but that lower bracket final now, VOD, is where Maryville sits. So that Boise State Maryville rematch that we were talking about as maybe a grand final rematch from that first round here in the playoff bracket, it could be a reality, albeit one step before where we were hoping for.
Wow, wow, wow. Is all I'm going to say to that one. GG's. And I would say performance-wise, OC Esports 100% of the way felt a lot stronger and more confident. There was just some overwhelming and perfectly timed plays from Maryville that allowed them to push the limit and push it to that potential game 7. So we will see what is going down
Look at
here.
that.
But Maryville potentially might not even be able to play their lower bracket series depending on how things are going for their LAN event that they are at. So we'll get more updates on that as it goes on. But yeah, the shots 53 to 54 and the perfect amount of goals. I mean, that just goes to show that it was so even between these two squads.
I think we couldn't have asked for a better upper final, barring the missing game. I don't think I could have asked for better company for these first 2 series, VOD. It's been wonderful to have you with us, but unfortunately, time fights against you as well, and so we have to bid you adieu for now. But folks, fear not. Waiting in the wings. I mean, don't we all? Don't we all? We'd love LAN work. And hey, maybe in the future, perhaps. But for right now, we're going to be looking forward to bringing Pyro J in the mix. Fantastic caster. You're going to love him, folks. But we've loved Vodable as well. So cheers. Many thanks to you. Enjoy the rest of your evening. But folks, we've still got half the evening left to run here on the Rally Cry Collegiate Series. So we'll see you for the lower semi-final after the break.
We get how uncertain the future is. We've come of age in a complex world, face to face with problems we didn't create. So what's gonna happen next? We are. Because our future is the future. The life we have chosen has prepared us for this. So we're going to build bridges and hospitals in a day. We're going to save families from disasters and feed those left in the cold. We're going to do all this and more because we have an appointment with destiny. We invite you to join us. The next greatest generation is now.
Our generation has a choice. Turn away from the world's problems or chase them down. We refuse to sit back and watch them pass us by. Watch us fly ahead. Rise to every challenge and overcome anything. Watch us become the next greatest generation.